Good evening, Belize. It's Thursday night, and you're tuned in to News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly, and here's what's making headlines tonight. A former ambassador and ex-mayor, Said Badi Guerra, is facing serious charges involving a male minor. Tonight, we hear from Guerra himself and the mother of the alleged victim. Also, a major development in the Hattieville double murder case. One of the accused walks free while the other heads to trial. Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca is defending the ministry's purchase of a $250,000 Land Cruiser, insisting no taxpayer money was used. And in international news, San Pedro Casino boss Rima Ray is arrested in the U.S. for running an illegal casino in Florida. Plus, in tonight's edition of Belize on Real, ancient Maya artifacts return home after a 12-year tour across the United States. All that and more coming up. News 5 starts in 60 seconds. Stay with us. Welcome back. A shocking story is unfolding tonight out of the Cayo district, one that's raising serious concerns about the sexual abuse of minors. A well-known figure, Said Badi Guerra, who once served as Belize's ambassador to Cuba and previously held the office of mayor in Dengue del Carmen, is now facing serious criminal charges. Guerra, the brother of Cayo West Area Representative Miguel Guerra, was escorted to the magistrate's court earlier today, where he was formally charged with 4 offenses, including sexual assault, harm, and procuring defilement by threat. It's a dramatic fall from grace for someone who once represented Belize on the international stage. According to reports, the incident happened on July 14th. Guerra was allegedly in the company of a 16-year-old boy, and the two were reportedly drinking alcohol. That's when the alleged assault took place. But it wasn't until 9 days later that a formal complaint was made at the Dengue police station. After spending some time in police custody, Guerra appeared before a magistrate in the lower court, where he was granted bail set at $10,000, along with 2 sureties of the same amount. He was able to meet bail shortly after the hearing and walked out of court a free man, for now. Guerra took a moment to speak with reporters following his release, though he didn't say much about the allegations.
I believe that it's important that people know. People sometimes know the negative things, the false things, the incorrect things, but they need to know exactly what is going on. I will not, and I must tell you, I will not get into details because, as you know, this is an ongoing process. They're doing their investigation, and I would not want to compromise police's investigation into the matter. One thing I must do make mention is I am being wrongly accused of rape. It is not rape, and I would like whosoever put it up on the media to remove that term because it is not rape. All right? So, that being said, I would like to mention 3 things, if you allow me, of course. First, this community knows me, Belize knows me. This community knows me because I've worked with young people, with children and young people over the years. Since I was very young, I actually was the youth president for the Youth Council of Cayo West at some point in time. So I've always worked with young people and children, and it's the first time that these allegations pop up. It's the first time I am seeing myself involved in this kind of things. That is fine. As I've mentioned to some people, not all of us are immune, you know. No one is immune, I must say, to this kind of things. And that's what I tell the people, the public out there. Nobody is immune to this sort of things. Secondly, I would like to call on our community, our society, to please be a bit more compassionate. I'm not talking about me, not talking about myself. I'm talking about every time there is an incident that some people happen to do things, the society immediately jumps up, condemns, crucifies, when it's only an allegation.
Of Saeed Badi Guerra, News 5 spoke with the mother of the alleged victim. Understandably shaken and choosing to remain anonymous, she shared her frustration with how the case is being handled. Her voice adds a deeply personal layer to a story that's already making national headlines.
Son was found in Dengue because since my son went to Cayo to pick up some money, and afterwards I wait a while because I know it takes a while to go get the money. But afterwards I called him and I said, "Mommy, I don't get the money. I just going and buy some food. Then I going home." I tell him, "Okay." Then I wait a while. Then afterwards I was calling back to him to know where is he or he don't finish to buy his food. But afterwards I was calling and calling, a lot of calls, and he never answered me. Then I get like scared that something wrong that is happening to my son because he was not answering me.
You also said that he is the student of Saeed Guerra. Is that correct?
Yes, he's a teacher of St. Ignatius High School, and he teach my son in third form, and he teach my son Shitla. So that's why he know everything about my son because he's his teacher.
How did your son get in touch with you so you can go and pick him up in Dengue?
Well, I tell you, I was calling, but no answer to him. And I never got sleep that day until I still call.
How long was your son missing?
He was missing because since the clock that I was calling to him, I never get an answer until 1 in the morning to 2. And I still was calling until he managed to answer me. And he said, "Mommy," say, "Where are you?" I tell him. He tell me, "I am at Dengue." And I tell him, "Where are you doing there?" And I tell, I will find out how to go find you because I could know my son is going through to something. One of the 2 men charged in a double murder case in Hattieville is now a free man.
22-year-old Ian Roy Herrera was released after the Director of Public Prosecutions dropped the charges against him due to lack of evidence. Herrera had been jointly charged with 25-year-old construction worker Blake Norman Lewis for the October 2023 murders of Martin Shaw, 45, and Joel Andrews, 67. The charges stemmed from a gruesome discovery at a farm in the farmer's site area of Hattieville. Police were called to the scene and found signs of a struggle, blood trails, a bloodied wheelbarrow, and eventually the bodies of both men in separate locations near a pond. Andrews had multiple gunshot wounds. Herrera was first arrested and charged in August 2024, followed by Lewis a few days later. While Herrera is now free, Lewis remains behind bars and has pleaded not guilty. His case is set to continue on November 21st, 2025. Crown Counsel Portia Stain-Ferguson is prosecuting the case on behalf of the DPP's office. Coming up, casino boss Rima Ray's money trail under fire. More when we return.
The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts presents Summer Spectacular from Mexico, back in Belize. It's Payasita Raquelin. Bring the entire family for an evening of magic, juggling, and puppetry. Our theater camp participants will proudly lead off the entertainment with a story theater presentation of Wanaragua, based on the children's book by Ingrid and Ibo Cayetano, happening this Friday, July 25th. Showtime is at 6:30 p.m. Ticket prices, adults $15 and children $5. For more information, call telephone number 227-2110. It's a show for the entire family with the kind support of UNICEF.
The temperatures are rising, but the prices are dropping fast. From beach days to backyard barbecues, Cellular World has everything you need to stay connected, entertained, and ahead of the curve. Crank up the music with JBL speakers. Watch every play in a crystal clear action on a new Samsung TV, or stay productive with reliable Dell devices, all from your trusted authorized distributor. How low can you go? Try smartphones just for $119, tablets at $129, TVs starting at only $379. Gadgets, computers, printers, appliances, and office equipment at the best price. Visit us today at your favorite Cellular World location, Belize City, Belmopan, Orange Walk, or San Pedro, and find great deals, trusted brands, and a summer you will never forget.
Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 585. Here are this week's contestants.
I'm here without you, baby, but you're still with me in my dreams. I don't wanna fall asleep. Oh.
is be more like me and be less like you.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media.
Get ready for back to school with Benny's B-Books. We have limited edition Benny's exercise and composition books just in time for the new school year. Get 6 composition books for 5 B-Bucks and 12 exercise books for only 2 B-Bucks. Benny's and B-Bucks, getting you ready for back to school.
We are ready for back to school. Are you?
Oh man, one more stroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data so you can scroll till your fingers cramp. Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
It started with a traffic stop in Florida and ended with a Belizean casino boss behind bars. Rima Ray, tied to the Caribe Blue Casino in San Pedro, is now at the center of an international investigation into illegal gambling and suspected money laundering. She was caught with over $340,000 in cash and claimed it came from selling part of her casino here in Belize. But U.S. authorities say that's just the beginning. From unlicensed slot machines to suspicious wire transfers, the case against Rima is growing. And so are the questions about her operations here at home. Tonight, we take a closer look at the money trail, the unanswered questions, and what Belizean authorities have to say, or didn't, when we asked for answers. Here's Paul Lopez with that story.
This isn't your average inmate record. Rima Ray, linked to the Caribe Blue Casino in San Pedro, has been on News 5's radar since 2024. Now she's behind bars in Florida after being caught with $340,000 in cash during a traffic stop. She claimed it came from selling part of her casino in Belize. A U.S. investigation uncovered illegal gambling operations at Isle Vilagio, where 190 unlicensed slot machines and large sums of money were seized. Ray is now facing charges for illegal gambling and fraud, with bail set at just over $50,000. Back in 2024, News 5 exposed an ATM machine at Caribe Blue Casino that dispensed U.S. currency, an illegal setup we reported to authorities.
The FIU, to protect the integrity of these processes and of our investigations, are under strict confidentiality obligations.
I'm sure you will appreciate that I can't say much on that because it is a live investigation.
And even when the Prime Minister weighed in on the findings, he encouraged the investigation.
If there are any fines to be paid or anybody needs to be held, they need to charge anybody for having illegal ATM and dispensing US dollars. Well, I am confident that the central bank is going to charge these people or take them to court. And they should. I would encourage them to do so.
Despite the serious allegations, Rima Ray didn't face any major penalties. No fine, no jail time, just a slap on the wrist. She was ordered to attend a money laundering training session and promised not to use the ATM again. But tonight, questions linger. Could Ray's illegal gambling operations in Florida be tied to her casino dealings here in Belize? That's something only the Financial Intelligence Unit can answer. We reached out to the FIU Director, Lenny Yisigiri Magan, for comment, but got no response. However, here's what she told us back in December about the FIU's role in tackling money laundering.
The FIU and Belize generally does engage in international cooperation. and has a strong history of doing so and working with our international partners. We can't speak to any specifics. However, it is obviously within the FIU's mandate to investigate money laundering as well as financial crimes.
According to a U.S. Special Agent's affidavit, TD Bank shut down Rima Ray's accounts back in March due to suspicious activity linked to money laundering. But here's what stands out. She used that same account to wire $50,000 to a Belize-based consulting firm late August and another $40,000 this January. Now under Belize's Gaming Control Act, anyone holding a gaming license must be fit and proper with no criminal convictions. Ray hasn't been convicted yet, but the evidence against her is stacking up. Tonight, she remains behind bars in the U.S., and questions about her Belize connections are only growing louder. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
FIU Director Lenny Isigeri-Magan reached out to News 5 just before news time to say that the unit is looking into these new details. We'll continue to follow. It's a $250,000 question that's been making headlines, and tonight, Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca is responding. Amid public criticism over the purchase of a high-end Land Cruiser, Minister Fonseca is standing by the purchase, saying he's neither wasteful nor extravagant. He insists that no taxpayer money was used and believes the ministry got good value for what was spent. Still, Fonseca acknowledges that as a public official, scrutiny comes with the job, and he's not shying away from it.
First of all, let me say that, listen, I'm a public official, elected public official. I'm a minister of government. So any action that I take, any decisions we make are obviously open to public scrutiny, media scrutiny. I understand that. I appreciate that. Now, I've been in, as you know, I've been elected representative for 22 years. And I think, you know, during those 22 years, nobody can reasonably suggest. No, you are not always reasonable, but nobody can reasonably suggest that, you know, I am someone who is, you know, wasteful or extravagant in any way. In fact, I think I've developed quite the opposite reputation. So that I want to make that point. From 2020 to 2025, I was using a Land Cruiser Prado assigned to the Ministry of Education. That was handed down to me, being used from a former minister of UDP minister. I didn't buy any new vehicle. The government of Belize didn't buy any new vehicle for me. We use that vehicle. It's actually in bad condition at the end of the term. So when I moved over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they informed me, I was informed, that a diplomatic ally had made a grant to the ministry for the purchase of vehicles, one of which was to be assigned to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. That was grant money. No public funds were used in the purchase of this vehicle. No taxpayers' money. No taxpayers' money. No taxpayers' money. In fact, no taxpayers' money has been used for the purchase of vehicles at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 2020. So that is the case. Now, they said, all right, we're going to buy a pre-owned Land Cruiser, navy blue. Those things were, I said, okay, fine. And that was, that was really the end of my involvement in the process. I'm not involved with negotiating. So that was it. And of course, they bought it from, you know, somebody who I certainly view as a reputable car dealer, who has done work with the government of Belize many times before. So yeah, I mean, you can always, of course, question the value of these things. But from my understanding, they got value for money.
On Wednesday night, News 5 uncovered something that's drawing attention. Government is currently paying rent for 116 office spaces across the country. Most of those rentals are in Belize City and Belmopan, and interestingly, some landlords show up more than once on the list, meaning they're leasing multiple properties to the government. But without access to the lease agreements, which the Ministry of Public Service has declined to release, we can't say for sure whether taxpayers are getting value for money. We put the question to Minister Francis Fonseca. Is this just a necessary cost of doing business, or could the government be spending smarter? We also asked him about reports that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is renting storage space in Belmopan.
Yeah, a better solution can be found, but we have to invest. It will cost money. We need to build more public buildings. We need to build a government complex again. So it's a issue that we've been talking about in Belize for decades. How do we invest more in public spaces, public buildings? It's costing, as you all know, millions of dollars every year to rent these facilities. So it's an ongoing challenge. It's an ongoing challenge. But I know it's something that we've discussed in cabinet, and I know that the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Public Service have been working on it to review these contracts. Many of them we inherited, we're continuing with them. But there's no substitute for having your own buildings, your own ministries, your own spaces. It's something that I know we're taking very seriously and looking at.
Can you share what the storage space that's being rented in Belmopan by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is being used for? It's being rented from a Barbara Ramos.
Storage space, I think. Oh, that
says the Belmopan Market Square.
That must be storage space.
Yeah, the Belmopan Market Square.
No, I'm not sure about that. I could check into it, but I know Niche has some storage space in Belmopan, but I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
So you wouldn't know what it, like how much it's being rented?
No, I wouldn't.
Earlier this week, we told you about a new twist in the Belize versus Honduras case at the International Court of Justice. Guatemala wants in. The ICJ has agreed to hear Guatemala's application to intervene, and those oral proceedings are set for November 24th. Now, during a recent trip to the U.S., Belize's Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca met with his Guatemalan counterpart. The two discussed a range of issues, including, of course, the long-standing border dispute that continues to shape regional diplomacy.
We started out the two-day meeting, the visit, meeting with the Foreign Minister of Guatemala. That was my first meeting. We had a bilateral meeting with the Foreign Minister of Guatemala, where we discussed the ICJ process and discussed the challenges we continue to face on the border in the Sarstoon, and discussed generally, Belize-Guatemala relations in terms of trade, investment, other opportunities. So I thought that was a very productive meeting. Later in the day, we had a wider meeting, Belize-Guatemala, under the auspices of the OAS. We had a meeting with the group of friends where both Belize and Guatemala made statements to our group of friends, and we heard from them about their continued support for the process, the ICJ process. So that was very good. All of our group of friends were there. They all reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Belize and Guatemala through this process, as long as it takes, and supporting the work of the OAS. So that was very good. I also, as you said, had a very good meeting with the Secretary General, the new Secretary General of the OAS, His Excellency Albert Ramdin. Again, there we discussed the primary issue I wanted to discuss with him was the continued work of the OAS in the adjacency zone between Belize and Guatemala. But we also discussed regional issues and hemispheric issues, including the situation in Haiti. We talked about reform at the OAS. Many different issues we discussed. So again, that was a very, very, very good meeting, I think.
A Guatemalan gunboat in Belizean waters. It's the kind of headline that grabs attention. And it happened earlier this week near Hunting Key. The Belize Coast Guard had to escort the vessel out after it was found in Belizean waters. When questioned, the Guatemalan sailors claim they were lost and didn't realize they had crossed into our territory. But this wasn't just any boat. It's reportedly one of Guatemala's largest gunboats, typically used to patrol sensitive areas like the Sarstoon, Corona Reef, and the Sapodilla Keys. That's why the incident sparked concern and skepticism among public, with many questioning whether the incursion was really accidental. Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca says Belizean forces handled the situation calmly and professionally, and that diplomacy remains the first line of defense.
The people of Belize, in perhaps the most democratic process we have available to us, a referendum, made a decision several years ago, as you all know, to pursue a peaceful resolution of this differendum between Belize and Guatemala. So the people of Belize are committed to a peaceful resolution. So we're pursuing that through the ICJ. The government of Belize has a duty and obligation, while we pursue that peaceful resolution of this case, to obviously protect the national sovereignty of Belize, the territorial integrity of Belize. We have to do that. We have a duty and obligation. The Belize Defense Force, the Belize Coast Guard are out there every day carrying out that duty honorably, faithfully, fearlessly. They're doing it. The event in question, as you pointed out a few days ago, the Coast Guard responded to it immediately when they were notified about the presence of this a vessel. They responded to the site immediately. They got there, they identified it as a GAF vessel within Belizean waters. They followed established protocol. They went up to the vessel. They informed the crew on board who they were, and they advised them that they were in Belizean waters. They had a discussion, a short exchange, and the Coast Guard then escorted the GAF vessel out of Belizean waters. So that is what took place then.
After the break, ancient Maya artifacts return to Belize after 12-year U.S. tour. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
On July 10, 2025, Belize Electricity Limited and Blair Atoll Power Company Limited signed a historic power purchase agreement for the development of a 15-megawatt utility-scale solar plant, complete with a 1.5-megawatt, 3-megawatt-hour battery storage system. This project represents a significant milestone in building a cleaner, more sustainable, and resilient electricity grid.
Today's signing is the furthest we have ever come down the road of realizing the needed facilities and our own ambitions for harnessing the power of the sun. This PPA provides a model in which everybody, BEL, Babcock, and consumers win, and that is how it should be. We have every confidence that Babcock can and will bring this project home, and BEL publicly offers whatever support it can to realize this goal.
What we learn here will set the foundation for future projects, including solar, wind, hybrid systems, and even other emerging developing technologies, renewable energy technologies, that Belize will need if we are going to remain competitive and resilient.
BEL and BAPCO will collaborate closely to develop and commission the plant within 12 to 18 months from the start of construction. Once operational, the solar plant will supply clean, renewable energy directly to the national grid, strengthening Belize's energy security and diversifying our national energy mix.
Dengue and Zika alert. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that as we enter the rainy season, be aware of the dangers of dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. These are infectious diseases that are transmitted by the bite of Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are most active in early morning and late afternoon. Activities that should be done to prevent dengue and Zika include: avoid having containers that can collect water in your yard. Cover water storage containers such as drums. Change the water in flower pots every 4 or 5 days. These are ideal breeding sites for the mosquito. With the elimination of breeding sites in and around the yard, dengue and Zika can be avoided. Dengue and Zika begin with sudden onset of high fever. Other signs and symptoms include rash, joint pain, eye pain. The public is also encouraged to use mosquito repellent spray or lotion on the body or clothing. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Angela's press celebrating, please. 140 years, so come on, enjoy all the great deals. Back to school, the best quality for less. From June 16th to August 30th, enjoy great deals you won't forget. So many years of serving the people of Belize. Yes, that's Angela's press. Cause we went back to school from June 16th to August 30th. Back to school, win cash on every Tuesday. Back to 10% off on every Tuesday. So when them ask, just tell them that we're going back to school. With an office makeover and 1,000 cash. Back to school, scratch and win. Everybody just come in. We're back to school. It's Angela's press anniversary. Everybody come, enjoy great deals. From June 16th to August 30th. Enjoy great deals. It's Angela's press 140th anniversary. Come out, come in and enjoy great deals. Cause we went back to school from June 16th to August 30th. Back to school, come win cash every Tuesday. We went back to school, 10% off on every Tuesday. So when them ask, just tell them that we're going back to school.
Get ready for the Ibo Town Festival 2025. The National Celebrations Commission, in collaboration with the Belize City Council and the National Institute of Culture and History, invites you to the annual Ibo Town Festival 2025. Join us after the official Emancipation Day ceremony on Friday, August 1st at the Isaiah Mortar Square, Albert Street West, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bring out the entire family for a day filled with live entertainment, cultural displays and handicrafts, an educational emancipation tour, plenty of food and drinks, a free kids zone featuring face painting, cotton candy, snow cones, bouncy house and trampoline, and more. Want to be a part of the action? Secure your booth space today by calling 280-2308 extension 263 or message us on WhatsApp at 673-9055. So mark your calendars, Friday, August 1st from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Isaiah Mortar Square. Let's celebrate freedom, culture, and community together. See you there.
veracidad, imparcialidad.
Este es el término utilizado.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización.
Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver los grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
It's an exciting day at the Museum of Belize. After 12 years, over 150 ancient Maya artifacts have returned to Belize after spending the last 12 years touring across the United States. The artifacts were loaned to the Science Museum of Minnesota as part of a partnership aimed at promoting Belize's rich Maya heritage internationally. These artifacts are now back in country and ready to be appreciated by Belizeans everywhere. In today's edition of Belize on Real, News 5's Brittany Gordon takes a closer look at these artifacts and their value to the national collection.
In 2012, the world waited with bated breath to see what world-shattering event would unfold when the Mayan calendar came to an end. Many believed that the conclusion of the calendar signaled the end of the world. 2012 came and went and the world kept spinning, but public interest in Mayan culture had increased significantly. It is around that time that Belize entered into an agreement with the Science Museum of Minnesota to take about 150 pieces of ancient Mayan artifacts found in Belize on a tour around the United States. Now they're back. Director of the Museum of Belize, Ilona Smiling, tells us that the team is excited to show them off to the public.
Of course, this is just the first phase. The bigger idea is to have most of the items that have returned incorporated into the existing Maya Creating Civilization exhibit.
So what type of artifacts are we looking at?
So we're looking at, of course, our ceramics, our jades, and one of the most beautiful things about the exhibition was a lot of the interactives that we were able to work with the Science Museum, and we have some of those that will be on display as well. We have 2 for the viewing that you guys can see. And again, you know, we look forward to incorporating most of these into the exhibits that we have here and some of the welcome centers that we have at the different archaeological sites.
There are about 150 pieces that toured the United States, and while all of them are back, only a select few were chosen for display today. These items include such as the Buena Vista vase, which dates back to around 900 AD and depicts 2 young corn gods, and a collection of high-end pieces known as eccentrics. Niche director Melissa Badia has more details on the pieces.
It is crossing various time periods from the ancient Maya civilization and different types of artifacts, showcasing their artistry with multiple kinds of materials, including shells, jade, stone artifacts, and of course we have to feature some ceramics. In the entire collection, there are both painted and unpainted. I think what we will have on display today is some painted pottery.
As a part of the artifact's grand return, 2 shamans were invited to the museum to welcome the pieces back into the space. These artifacts will now be reintegrated into displays across the country, giving Belizeans the chance to appreciate the beauty and their deep history.
The significance is that we are able to view our history and we are able to do our own research and have that be a part of our own culture, you know, that we get to view and see. One of the more beautiful things that we had with the exhibition was the exchange that we were able to do with the Science Museum. A lot of the conservation work was done in partnership with them. We had staff from the museum and from the Institute of Archaeology that was able to work on them. So it's a very beautiful thing that we're able to have them back home, and we have our own people that can get to view these artifacts.
The collaboration between Belize and the Science Museum of Minnesota also provided a team at Niche capacity building for long-term preservation of the artifacts and funds used to keep Niche in operation. Minister of Culture Francis Fonseca says that Belize welcomes more mutually beneficial opportunities such as these in the future.
We're trying to do more of that. We're engaging and collaborating. As you know, Niche has a long history, the Institute of Archaeology in particular, has a long history of collaboration with universities, primarily in North America. But that's the whole idea of trying to gain knowledge, experience, support. They helped over the 12 years to preserve some of these artifacts. So that's a benefit to Belize. But of course we want, as I said, our primary mandate is public education. We want to share these artifacts with the people of Belize, especially our young people. They've been out there for a long time, so it's good to have them back home so that we can put them on display, which we will be doing in a few weeks' time.
The Museum of Belize welcomes Belizeans to visit the exhibit and learn more about some of the pieces already integrated into the national collection. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Belize is tightening up its borders, and it's doing so with a little help from the United States. Earlier this week, both countries signed a new agreement that's all about sharing biometric data. Sounds technical, but here's what it means. Belize is stepping up its game when it comes to tracking who's coming in and out, especially when it comes to illegal immigration and transnational crime. Under this partnership, Belize will now be able to request police records for U.S. citizens trying to enter the country, and the U.S. can do the same for Belizeans. It's a two-way street aimed at keeping both nations safer. Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca says this move is all about building stronger, smarter border security and ultimately a safer and more prosperous future for both Belize and the U.S.
This is a memorandum of cooperation that has its genesis going back to 2009, when a letter of agreement, what they call the Merida Initiative Letter of Agreement, was signed in Belmopan in 2009. And the entire focus of this biometrics data sharing partnership memorandum of cooperation is to promote and support border security and public safety. So it involves two agencies, and it involves the Immigration Department and the Belize Police Department. And they will provide, under this memorandum of cooperation, support to Belize, technological support, software, hardware, and infrastructure to support our work at the border. It's all aimed at combating a shared commitment we have with the U.S., combating narco-trafficking, human trafficking, terrorism, organized crime. That is the whole objective. And I want to make the point, listen, that there is no question about anybody should be concerned about personal data. The memorandum specifically provides safeguards for that and makes sure that no personal data can be transferred to a third party. The memorandum is governed by the national laws of Belize, so everyone continues to enjoy the protection of our constitution and our national laws. I think it's very, very important, a very, very important memorandum of cooperation. If one thing keeps us up at night as a government, it's the threat of narco-trafficking, border security issues. We need all the help and support we can to combat those efforts. And we are very, very happy that we are partnering with the United States government to do so.
The government has just signed a new agreement with the United States that allows both countries to share biometric data. That means if someone's trying to enter Belize and there's suspicion of human trafficking or terrorism, border officials can now request their police records from the U.S. and vice versa. Sounds like a smart move for safety, right? Well, not everyone's convinced. Some Belizeans are worried about privacy, especially when it comes to the U.S. having access to their personal data. So should we be concerned? We put that question directly to Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca.
Data is being collected now. Anybody who travels to the United States, their data is collected. You apply for a visa, data is collected. So this is about protecting our borders. This is about border security. It's about public safety.
It's really about protecting their border, though.
No, well, they have an interest in protecting their border, but we have an interest, as I said. Listen, I sit on the National Security Council. We are very, very concerned about the movements of people across our border for criminal activities, based on criminal activity. We don't have the capacity to monitor that effectively. So we need the support of a country like the United States. So for me, it's absolutely clear that this is critically important. And as I said, I am absolutely satisfied that there are full safeguards in place to protect the privacy of individuals, to protect the personal data of individuals. As I said, the entire cooperation, memorandum of cooperation is based on national law. So it does not override any national law. So you have the protection of your constitution, protection of national laws, and as I keep pointing out, it's based on a request basis which the government of Belize then, through our facilities, will be able to process and look at and determine whether or not we can respond to that request.
I don't want to sound conspiratorial, but you can see how persons in the public might say, well, if they assist us with the technology, then it's not unheard of for persons who design such technology to have a back-end capture, an ability to take something out of the back end, even though the front end might have all these safeguards in place.
Well, if people are as cynical as you are, yes, they will come to that conclusion.
So we're dealing with the Imperium.
But as you know, the United States government, man, they can get any information they want already on anybody. They have the capacity for that. So this is putting in place a structured process, cooperation, arrangement, where we work together, as I said, for a shared goal and commitment.
When we return, training healthcare workers to support youth battling substance abuse.
Oh man, one more scroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data, so you can scroll till your fingers cramp. Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
is where blue innovation meets green ambition and orange creativity thrives. Join us for the Belize Investment Summit 2025, September 3rd to 5th at the Sunset Caribe in San Pedro. This is the future of regional integration, and it starts here. Whether you're returning home, expanding regionally, or entering new markets, Belize welcomes you. Why Belize? Why now? Belize Investment Summit 2025, bridging markets, building resilience. September 3rd to 5th, Sunset Caribe, San Pedro. Visit investmentsummit.bz to register and be part of shaping the investment frontier.
This is the new era of the Mexican Caribbean. A whole spectrum of colors and hues, multi-dimensional cuisine, holographic beaches. The true new era is within you.
Stop wasting your time and money. Come to Publix, where every dollar counts. So why shop anywhere else? Find the freshest fruits and vegetables handpicked for your family. Need something quick and delicious? Our ready-made rotisserie chicken is hot and ready to go. And with Publix rewards, you'll save big while shopping for everything you love and need. Publix, fresh, affordable, for you.
Serving Belizean families for 27 years.
Open Your Eyes Country Tour is heading your way. On Monday, July 28th, join us live from El Gran Mestizo Resort in Orange Walk Town as we bring you energy, culture, and the community spirit of Sugar City. Meet local businesses, explore unique flavors, and celebrate the rich traditions that makes Orange Walk so vibrant. It's all happening on Open Your Eyes Country Tour. Tune in at 6:30 a.m. on GBM or stream live on our social media platforms. Come out and be a part of the excitement on Monday, July 28th at Orange Walk Town, powered by Digi, our national telecom.
When a hurricane hits, you want to know you're covered. Take time to review your policy details. Are you adequately covered for hurricane damage? Visit us at 1 Coney Drive in Belize City or one of our convenient countrywide agents. Don't face stormy weather without the right insurance. Having the correct coverage is priceless. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
You pay the bill?
Ma, I got the wallet.
So you could pay the bill now?
Yeah, I can show you.
Ah.
See? Easy.
Belizean healthcare workers are taking the lead in breaking down the stigma and discrimination faced by young people dealing with substance abuse. Today, the Ministry of Health and Wellness launched a 2-day workshop focused on creating a more supportive, youth-friendly approach to care. They're setting out to ensure that adolescents struggling with substance abuse feel seen, heard, and helped, not judged. News 5's Brittany Gordon was there and brings us the story behind this important initiative.
It's something we've all witnessed, maybe even brushed off. A 10-year-old casually buying cigarettes at the neighborhood shop, or a teen sipping alcohol at a family party. It might seem normal to some, but it's neither legal nor harmless. Each year, more and more Belizean adolescents are being exposed to harmful substances, and alarmingly at younger ages. That early exposure can lead to long-term consequences.
Adolescents have some personal problems, mental issues, emotional problems. Also at family level, we find that some children, they are being exposed at home to substances. Their parents are drinking, their uncles are drinking. At 10-year-old, they are asking them to drink. So they see it as part of life. At community level, there's access. You go to a place, even though they tell you that alcohol should be sold to a child, individual less than 18, but this is not being enforced. They can go anywhere. There's a drug item called the Batman. These small items, alcohol, very cheap. Also in school, we find that people are selling alcohol, they are selling marijuana in school, all those things like that.
Nearly a quarter of Belize's population is made up of adolescents, and substance abuse among them is becoming a serious concern. The problem is that many teens aren't getting help because they're afraid of being judged or mistreated. To change that, healthcare workers are now taking part in a 2-day workshop focused on fighting stigma and making care more youth-friendly. Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa from the Ministry of Health and Wellness shares what's driving this important effort.
We realized that there was a gap when it comes to services for adolescents. Particularly, there's a gap in, for example, sexual and reproductive health services, mental health services. And we realized that adolescents were not actually coming to our facilities, or even when we go to schools, we did not have the sort of what we needed in terms of the cooperation from adolescents. So we launched an adolescent strategy in health in 2023, and these trainings now form part of that. We're ensuring that the operational plan to this strategy, that we ensure that we start to do our training not only to adolescents and to the general public.
This 2-day workshop is the result of a powerful partnership between the Ministry of Health and Wellness, UNICEF, and the Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission, with support from the National Drug Abuse Control Council as the lead facilitator. Right now, about 45% of the people reaching out to NDAC for help are adolescents. According to Director Esner Veos, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Many more teens are out there struggling in silence, still not getting the support they need.
When you look at the consumption patterns, it all depends on the geographical regions, right? In terms of consumption patterns of marijuana, for example, you will see more consumption among the younger population, even adult population, both male and female, in the central region of our country. Yet when you look at alcohol consumption, you would foresee that there is more consumption of alcohol in the northern districts, in the southern districts, and that has to do with our porous borders, contraband, and accessibility to alcohol, particularly among the population.
Training healthcare workers to offer care that's kind, inclusive, and effective is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to tackling stigma. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says it's just as important to bring a wider public on board, building stronger, united commitment to supporting Belize's youth. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
We all know the rainy season runs from June to November, but what we sometimes forget is that rain brings more than just puddles. It brings mosquitoes, and with them a spike in dengue cases. This week, the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital sounded the alarm, reporting a sharp rise in dengue infections, especially here in Belize City. It's got health officials urging everyone to take extra precautions. So what can you do to protect yourself and your family? And just how serious is the situation? Director of Public Health, Dr. Melissa Diaz, breaks it all down for us.
We have strengthened our surveillance team, we've strengthened the capacity in what they're capable of doing, and we are ensuring that when we say heightened surveillance, we're no longer waiting for persons to come in to say, I don't feel well, but we're going out to try to find persons who are ill. So with regards to measles and malaria, I can happily report that we have not had any cases in the recent 2 cycles.
When it comes to dengue, are we observing an increase in the amount of cases that we usually have around this time of year, or is it around the same?
Well, with the surveillance aspect, we do monitor many of our diseases on a weekly basis. It's called the endemic channels. And when we look at dengue, we know that for the same period last year, the number of country cases has reduced. However, when we look at the districts, the Belize district has shown over 200% increase in the last 2 weeks. So we know that there is ongoing transmission of dengue. There is an outbreak in the Belize district, and we have increase the interventions that we're doing. We're getting help from Northern Health Region in terms of bringing in staff to help us to break this transmission. And we're advocating to the public to please ensure that your yards are clean, that you don't have any reservoirs holding stagnant water, that your drains are clean, because these are the areas where this vector can produce and spread the disease.
Up next, young Belizean artists find their voice at summer music camp.
Oh man, one more scroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data, so you can scroll till your fingers cramp. Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 585. Here are this week's contestants.
I'm here without you, baby, but you're still with me in my dreams. I don't wanna fall asleep, oh, I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss you, baby. Oh, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on?
And there are bombs and there are guns in your head, in your head. They are dying.
Never know this one. That was when
Just because it burns doesn't mean you're gonna die. You gotta get up and try and try and try.
I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you.
Remember, vote Voting ends on Sunday at midnight, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
This week, George Cato Price, affectionately known as Belize's Father of the Nation, was honored at the Organization of American States Hall of Heroines and Heroes. A bust made in his likeness was unveiled at a ceremony celebrating Price's legacy as a national hero and a symbol of peace. Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca led the unveiling ceremony along with OAS Secretary General Albert Ramdin. He shared more details on the celebration today.
We unveiled with the Secretary General of the OAS a bust of George Price in the Hall of the Heroines and Heroes of the Americas. Very proud moment for Belize, in my view. We're only the third CARICOM country to have our national hero, or Father of the Nation, displayed in those halls. So a very proud moment for Belize. We had quite a few people from the Belizean community there in DC, there to witness it. So I think that was incredibly important, recognizing the contribution that George Price made, not only to Belize, but as a statesman to the region, to the hemisphere.
For a group of young aspiring musicians in Belize City, this summer has been anything but ordinary. Over the past 2 weeks, 12 kids, some just starting out, others already finding their rhythm, came together at the Reef Recording Studio. It wasn't just about beats and lyrics, it was about building confidence, making new friends, and channeling their creativity in a positive way. Today marked the end of their musical journey, for now. But the memories and skills they've gained will last a lifetime. News 5's Paul Lopez has the story.
Some kids are born with musical talent, others discover it along the way. And this summer, 12 young artists from Belize City got the chance to do just that. For the past 2 weeks, they've been working side by side with music producer Devin DJ Perifit at the Reef Recording Studio, sharpening their skills, exploring their creativity, and learning what it really takes to make music. It's been a hands-on experience that's all about growth, expression, and turning passion into potential.
Singing praises unto him.
I was singing from I was 5 years old. I just come up with music from the top of my head, like a word, and then I just start writing based on experience.
Do you sing like often, and if so, where?
Yes, sir. I think my neighbors are tired of me. But it's just something that, it's not just a hobby, it's just something that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel that you could express yourself while doing it.
For young music lover Jasnique Diamond, this summer was all about turning lyrics into something powerful. DJ Perf says every child who joined the program came in with a real passion for music and a hunger to learn more. And from the sound of it, they're just getting started.
So this is something that we do with kids, really have them in an environment of creating music, not just sitting behind a keyboard and learning music, but really be in the environment of creating music. So that's what we offered the kids. We did so the first day we showed them the studio, how our studio is operated, the different sections, the recording booth, the engineer section and all of that. We had days where we do songwriting classes, we do beat making classes. We had a drummer came in, showed them how to play the drum. So we did all those activities, and then we did a talent show to really had them write a song and then perform that song for us today.
The music didn't stop at just beats and lyrics. These young artists also got creative with visuals. Each participant designed their own album cover art, capturing what their time at the Reef recording studio meant to them. Take Cameron Milton, for example. He doesn't express himself through vocals, but give him a drum set and he speaks volumes. Over the past 2 weeks, Cameron's rhythm and confidence behind the kit have grown by leaps and bounds.
So my cousin have this electric drum at home, so at his house. So every time when I go play, I don't know what to do. So he teaches me, but he doesn't teach me like my drum teacher. So I just when Miss Julian said, okay, yeah, that drum class, so she carry all of us and she always bring us and drop you off. From the snare, I couldn't play the snare that good, and the hi-hat and the cymbals, I couldn't play that good.
Okay.
But what I know I'm good at is the three loudest one.
The director at Hope Resource Center, Julian Mortis, plays a quiet but key role in the music camp. She's a driver, motivator, and an all-around supporter for the children, ensuring they get to the studio and learn what is being taught.
It does a lot, because there's a lot of things happening in our communities, a lot of negative things that is going on. So we're trying to grab as much kids as we can and do positive things with them, because we see the negative that they're seeing every day. And I really trying to get as much kids as I can to bring them into places like this, like the Hope Research Center, the Reef Studio, so they could have a place that they could come, and what I like about it is a safe place.
All participants received a certificate of completion today. This is the second music camp that the Reef Studio hosted. Perifeet says he plans to make it an annual event. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
It was a tense moment on the court Saturday night, not between players, but between a player and a fan. Belize City Thunderbolts forward Charles Garcia found himself in a heated exchange with Dr. Julio Sabido, the CEO in the Ministry of Health. But on that night, Dr. Sabido wasn't just there in any official role, just a passionate basketball fan in the stands. Things got a little too intense in the final moments of the game, and today, Garcia stopped by our studio to set the record straight. He admitted he regrets how things played out and offered a heartfelt apology to his fans. He also told us he reached out to Dr. Sabido, and the two have since cleared the air. Both men acknowledge they could have handled things better, one as a player, the other as a fan. And in the end, they agreed to move forward with mutual respect. Here's what Charles Garcia had to say about the incident and the lessons he's taking from it.
First of all, basketball is my passion. It's my job, it's my life. Been doing it all my life, right? I'm a passionate player. I'm dedicated to my job and my craft. Obviously, I'm human at the end of the day. I'm human. You don't know what a player was going through behind the scenes, he's supposed to perform, yes, but you don't know what he's got going on in his personal life. And so, if I feel like a fan is heckling, which I could respect, okay, that's fans. But then you hit someone with a threatening gesture, I'm gonna react. I have a lot of regrets. Like I said, I have an image. I am, first of all, I'm a father, you know what I mean? I have a beautiful daughter, so, I'm a family man. And my roots started from here in Belize. So, of course, I feel some type of way. Couldn't sleep. Because now everyone's sitting in my front from the States, Belize, my peers, my peoples, and it kills me. I have an image, I want to maintain that image. I'm a good dude. And then seeing this after the fact, I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because that's not who I am. My mom raised me well. It kills me to have this interview, to say my piece, because I'm not trying to throw in nobody underneath the bus or nothing like that, but I have to clear my name. I have to clear my image. Because now I'm walking on the streets, people is just looking at me different. I don't like that. You know what I mean? I was walking around here comfortably, but now I just feel uncomfortable now because of this report that's coming out to me. I feel some type of way.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.